Intersectionality has become a very important term when talking about things like privilege, and so I think it's important here to take a closer look at what intersectionality means, what it doesn't mean, and how it can be used effectively within the context of intercultural communication. So in the most textbook definition, intersectionality could be seen as the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage. The term was originally used by lawyer and professor of law Kimberly Crenshaw. Her development of the term was used to highlight within a legal context specifically the forms of oppression faced by black women who must face both racialized and gendered forms of systemic discrimination. So the term has also been incorrectly sometimes framed by some people as a way of discriminating against those who have been very privileged, as sort of reverse racism, sometimes people will call it. So namely white men. However, intersectionality, as Crenshaw has noted, was never intended to be used this way. It's simply a way of referring to the complex nature of human beings more broadly, the idea that we are simultaneously impacted by a range of different social factors. So on its face, it's a somewhat simple concept. Some people have built upon the work of Peggy McIntosh in unpacking the invisible knapsack of white privilege by making lists of other kinds of privilege as well. For example, abled privilege refers to the advantages enjoyed by those who do not face the same obstacles faced by those with disabilities. One example would be, I do not typically have to take time to plan out how or if I will be able to access a building for work. So for those with disabilities, traveling to work can be much more time consuming because other people would not have to take the time to think about, is the building going to be accessible? Am I going to be able to find a parking spot? If I have to use public transportation, can that be relied upon to be accessible? Right. So again, there's all these factors that are sort of disrupting people's lives, whereas for abled people, it wouldn't be as time consuming or draining to do those kinds of tasks. So it just sort of systemically sets up a sort of disadvantage. For intercultural competence, it's necessary to have a broad understanding of things like privilege, race, gender, class, sexuality, and ability. And then again, intersectionality is being able to kind of think across those different categories. And also to develop skills of reflection, of analysis, and of communication.